1974. I had a teacher at the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. I didn't go to Madison, Wisconsin, because Madison was a party school, and I didn't need to double down. So I went to UWM, and in theater class, we had a performance class, and I wrote a comedy bit. I was writing all the time, and I wrote a humor column for the local underground newspaper, like the Bay Guardian. Here in Milwaukee, we had something called the Bugle American. So I would always write humor. In high school, I was writing for the school magazine. In college. So then I wrote a humor column. And so I took some of the stuff from the humor column, took some stuff from Woody Allen albums, and I did a stand-up comedy performance in my theater class. And I brought in a case of beer, and it was like a 3 o'clock class, and I shut all the windows, so there was no light. And we used to have stamped tin ashtrays in the student union, and I got a mess of them. So people were smoking and drinking in class, so I created like a comedy club atmosphere, and I made money off the case of beer. So the first time I was on stage, I actually made money. But then, because I had done theater, I had always been in a drama class. I was a jock for a while, and I broke my foot, so then I got into theater, and then I fell in love, and so that it all started there. So I wrote this routine, and then I had a routine, and they had an open mic in Milwaukee. And because I had done theater a couple of times, for 5 or 6 years, high school and college, I had to step up because I had some stage presence. And the first time I went to this open mic at the Rusty Nail, it was every Monday in Milwaukee, right on the river. And it was right near the school, the Milwaukee School of Engineering, MSOE. And they were watching Monday Night Football, and we'd make them turn out, and they were pissed. And so they would learn everybody's punchlines. And so they would watch, because it was the same comics every week, the same 8 comics. It's Milwaukee, 1974, for Christ's sake. We were lucky we had 8 comics. Yeah. And so they would learn everybody's punchlines and try to screw us up. So I knew to constantly change and bob and weave and change my material, so they never knew where I was coming from. And then I had to move. I was there I made a couple incidental forays to the West Coast, but I always came back. And then I worked with a guy named Paul Sills, who started Second City in Chicago with Bernie Salins, who was the money man. But Paul had moved up to Milwaukee, and he created this thing called Century Hall. And I worked with him doing improv for about a year and a half. And then I finally had to get out because comedy was illegal in Milwaukee.